can't stop my shine. I'm loving Cloud City, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm hunting solo. I'm hunting solo, I'm hunting solo. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Golden Dice Podcast. I'm your host, Jack, and with me I have Flockton and Brian. How are you two doing today?
Sleepy.
Doing great.
It is. We are recording late Friday night, and hoping this is posted. It should be posted Tuesday. Maybe I get impatient and post it earlier. We'll see. But we got exciting news, I guess, for you. We were gifted with a spoiler. After FFG's original email going to my spam folder and not knowing about it to a follow-up email was sent, we have a spoiler, which we could have had 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that.
That's really on brand for us.
Yeah.
Go Gmail.
Apparently we weren't the only ones, but, you know, we got here. We're here. We survived. We're managing. You know, before we get right into it, we're going to dive. It's going to be a short video. This isn't like a full podcast or anything. We're going to talk about the card. We're going to talk about some comparisons to what we have seen so far, and obviously it isn't a lot. We're still like under 30 cards or whatever it is. We'll look at that. But just if you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscription, like the video. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, follow us there. We're on pretty much all the podcast applications, Spotify, Apple, whatever. I signed up for all the ones that Anchor let me to. So we're out there. Appreciate if you give us a follow, give us a review, give us a subscription, whatever. But we're excited. We got a card, and Brian thinks this is probably best card in the game. No doubt.
Super,
yeah, that's what he said.
Siege
That's what he said.
Laser cannon.
Super Laser
John.
Siege Cannon. Brian
That's
is
what it was,
actually,
yeah.
for anybody who didn't play Destiny or didn't listen to us during Destiny, Brian is pretty much 100% on spoilers.
What you call a sage?
Heal?
I see the future, actually. So
Sage heal? Wall? Resme? All right, so we're going to throw it up on the screen right now, and I will read it out to all of our listeners as well. So this is Open Fire. It is a red 3-cost tactic, and it is deal 4 damage to a unit. So this is a very complicated card. And so if you are unsure, units have health. And this card deals 4 damage to those units.
complicated.
Real complicated. Off the bat, seems fine. We'll go through all the other cards. I mean, this is obviously exciting that we got something, and it is nice that we're getting it a little bit later in the game because we have stuff to compare it to. But any initial thoughts from you two guys on this card?
For me, just kind of right not the limited stuff we know, just seems like a very decent card that can pretty much go in any deck. It'll do. There's not many restrictions on it besides killing units, and that's what we're trying to go for, So it's interesting to see the value you're going to get out of a 3-cost for 4 damage. So, and you have Vanquish up right next to it, so we'll eventually compare that. But yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, seems like a card. I like it. Like Flock said, it's a little early in the game to kind of in a vacuum decide what to do with it, where to place it. I know FFG likes listening to early tier lists, but I'm just not going to do that this time. So
But you have to. You got to put A, B, C, D, E,
S.
F. Oh,
S tier.
What about,
S tier.
what about
Yo,
triple
so-
S? Triple S plus?
No, but pre-recording, dude, he was saying F.
Yeah. No,
And
I
now
don't.
the cameras are on. He says S.
Yeah, I'm sorry, FFG. I love you. It's a great card.
I mean,
No, it's fine. I think that I think it might be a little expensive. I don't know what like comparatively speaking to the other cards in the spoilers so far. I don't know where it stands, resource cost wise, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, we got 4 cards to compare to, so I mean, we could even say, would you take it over this one, or would you not take it over this one?
Yeah.
But yeah, some stuff to take into account. I'm still a little bit used to the Destiny where I feel like you pay 1 and either do 2 or take 2, or get 2 shields, so either deal 2 damage. So if I'm paying this currently, paying 3 to deal 4 feels bad to me. But this is a new game in which you have to learn the curves of those things. And so that's going to be different. And I also think it's worth noting that there could be a similar card that deals 4, but it's cheaper if it has 2 symbols on it, right? Because 2 symbols is more of a deck building requirement. So now this one, you could just include red either in your hero or your base, and it's in, you can play it, you could do it. But if there's, a red and the villain one, the black color, right, that's now 2 requirements that you had to have in pre-deck building. So I could see something where there's maybe a pay 3, deal 5, or, pay 2, deal 4 type thing. A little bit better value than what you get from just a one cost card.
Yeah, I think coming from an archetype where it's you have your set characters in a list, and then that's all you have to work with, compared to you are constantly throwing units up on the board. So I guess in that sense, it might be a little more useful. But I'm used to the lower cost Destiny kind of things where you have a set health pool, and it is inflexible more or less. Where this is kind of it's an adjustment.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got to keep in mind, if you did 30 damage over the course of a Destiny game, you probably won. Whereas if you did 30 total damage across everything in Unlimited, that doesn't mean you won unless all 30 damage went to the base. So you're going to be dealing a lot more damage and needing to deal more damage than you ever
Unless
did.
you destroyed the Death Star.
Oh, true. You could, yeah.
Yeah.
Or built it.
Yeah.
But we'll throw up our first card that we're going to compare it to, which is Vanquish. And this is a 5-cost blue, and it is just defeat a non-leader unit.
Better than Vanquish.
You think Open Fire is better than Vanquish?
Yeah, because 5. If I think 3 for 4 is expensive, 5 to kill a non-leader unit when we haven't. It depends on what the health is. Like looking at the card so far, Leia unit is 2 health, Yoda unit is 4 health, Cloud City Wingguard is 4 health. So you're paying. Basically, what this card does is it's more cost efficient, and it's a non-leader. I would want to use Vanquish on a leader card. You know what I mean? For 5, it's pretty steep.
Yeah. If it didn't say non-leader, it's probably pay 5, defeat a leader, because so far,
Huge.
everything we've seen, I think, has been at least 5. Krennic was 5, Leia was 5, Luke is 6, Vader 7. So by those terms, you would have had 5 resources to do this as well. So if it didn't say that, this would definitely be one of the cards where you just sit on it until you can defeat a leader with that. I agree with you, and this is what we talked about pre-recording a little bit. I think this is just what other cards are out there, because currently I'm not going to want to ever play this because I don't want to pay 5 to destroy a 2-cost what was it, the restored arc. 2 costs. I get that has restore on it so that you can heal and has extra effects, but it's going to feel terrible to pay 5 for something your opponent paid 2 for, unless there's some crazy staggerments. But I think in the live stream they referenced it was either an ATSD or Star Destroyer, so there could be some things which obviously you would expect a Star Destroyer to be 7, 8, 9 cost. So if I pay 5 to kill something that costed 7, I think I'll be okay. And especially if it has a continued effect, something like a restore or whatever all the other keywords were that I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can definitely see it taking out something really big. So say you gotta have a deck and you have one of your units is you built your deck around a specific unit. This could be a good counter card for a specific deck. So what is it's 3 cards in the entire deck. So I can see this being 1 or maybe even 2 in the deck, and you're gonna pull for it if you know the opponent's deck is built off of the ATSD or something like that. Something really big that you could just. They drop it down, you just knock it away. So I don't see it being a terrible card, and they wouldn't have this card if there were not things that are going to be bigger. So it's definitely going to be useful, but it's going to be more situational, where Open Fire is definitely more, you might just put that in every single red deck kind of thing, So every time you have a red deck, you throw that in there because you're going to get pretty good, decent value based off of the 3 for 4, where the other one's going to be more so probably a counter that you're going to have 1, maybe 2 of in your entire deck just to counter a very specific big unit in a deck.
The second we start to see more 7, 8, 9 cost stuff,
Yep.
that's going to matter.
Yep.
But this also the meta of this game could dictate the value of this card, right? If the meta out
Yep.
the gate is just low cost aggro, I'm playing a lot of 1, 2, 3 units and trying to swarm the board, then I don't play Vanquish, right? Because I'm not going to get value out of that. I think the meta.
Because there's also the upgrades too. So say you even have even the Death Star Trooper that's 1 cost, but they have a bunch of heavy, equipments on them, it might be worth just knocking out, getting rid of that and all of the upgrades on that unit for 5, They probably paid like 5, 6, 7, got a few rounds out of it. You just want to knock it out, get it out of the way. So this also probably kills all the upgrades.
Yeah, I imagine once the unit's I mean,
Yep.
unless there's like a redeploy type mechanic, but that makes less sense
Yeah.
in this game than it did Destiny.
Yep.
But so far, we've only seen Vader Saber. So, I mean,
Yeah,
if
that's true.
if the best upgrades that you're including are attached to your leaders, then, that affects the value of the
Yes,
card as
true,
well.
true,
So,
true, yep.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that is Vanquish. The next card that we have up is a recent spoiler. If you haven't seen it, it is Surprise Strike. It is a yellow card. It's attack with a unit. It gets +3 attack, +0 defense or health or whatever that is exactly for this attack. This was spoiled by Unplayable, which might be my favorite spoiler reveal video so far. It was a fun video, and it was 30 seconds, and then I got the card. So that was good. So yeah, this is another single color. You get +3 on attack. You're paying 2 for it only, so it costs 1 less, but you're dealing 1 less. And then my issue is that you need to have a unit on the board for this to matter. And then also that unit is also taking damage back, right? I assume if you're attacking, I think you trade damage. But that is where I run into the issue of that. And it could be good to snipe something off the board, but I think the flexibility of open fire, just being able to deal 4 seems, I still like that better so far.
Yeah, but you could use this on a base if you wanted to.
Yep, that's the value of that as well. Yeah, you could attack right into the base, get 3 extra damage.
Right. So like
Yeah.
even if on a 1-cost Death Star Stormtrooper, for example, that would be a 6 strike into a base. I mean, that's pretty decent for 2. I mean, total 3 costs, but you're still gaining your net 2 damage on top of that. But
Yep.
I can see applications for it.
Yeah, I don't think either of these cards are necessarily bad of what we've seen. I like both these more than Vanquish
Yes.
Yeah.
so far.
I like Surprise Strike in an attack that you're not expecting to take damage back. For sure. I agree with that one. Yeah, because it's like one of those things where I can see this being a really good deck, and that's one of the ones where you're just trying to smash face into the base and just knock them out quickly, kind of thing, versus going after and trying to knock out all of their guys. So I can see this being in a deck something like that.
Yeah, aggro oriented. Yeah, stuff from
Yep,
hand.
yeah,
Dealing extra damage from
yep,
hand
for
is
sure.
really good.
Yep, because they might not be expecting. They're sitting there like, oh, I'm clean, I'm good. They're only showing this much damage. It's Surprise Strike, and they knock you with another +3. So.
Yep.
Could be a closer.
Yep.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah, and it could snipe some of the high value targets too with your low
Yeah.
how much did Luke have? No, he had 7. Yeah, but like you could play your Stormtrooper and then snipe Leia. There's like those moments where I think that would be a pretty good trade off. But I think, if you had to ask me what my favorite moment, it'd probably be going into the base, getting that extra damage in the base. All right. Any other thoughts on Surprise Attack compared to Open Fire?
No.
Nope.
All right. Next one is the Father's Day reveal, which is I'm Your Father. It is a 3-cost villain black card, and it's deal 7 damage to an enemy unit unless its controller says no if they do draw 3 cards. Thoughts on the
going in
comparison?
every single deck. Every single deck. I love it.
You like it that much?
I love it.
Not even card-wise, just the theme?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's even that good. I just really want people to,
I want people to talk to me.
What's wrong with that?
But what if I say nah?
I
That
think there will
counts.
be clear confirmation one way or the other before the game
Yeah.
proceeds.
Yeah.
Like practical application, you're probably taking the damage every time. In my opinion, I think 3-card advantage is huge. You can replace units. you know?
Yeah, there's definitely like a break point of they have 7 cards in their hand. Does 3 really make all that difference because they probably have what they want? Maybe I just let them draw 3. But if this is their last card, and they draw 3 and they still have, they paid 3 for this, they still have 4 more resources, like that's, that gets scarier.
Yeah.
I generally hate choice cards because your opponent, unless they make a mistake, and like from a competitive aspect, you're going to assume that your opponents are playing at a high level. They're going to give you your worst option. You're obviously going to be hoping for one of the 2 of these things. You could be content with the lower half, but I just worry that I'm always going to get the the end that I don't want in this. Like, I want to play a card and I want to know its exact effect so I can plan out my turn. Whereas this, you're like, if I draw 3, this could be huge. If I deal 7, it's like a whatever turn. And, you know, I don't love that aspect of it.
Reminds me of Abandon All Hope from Destiny.
What was that? Like, reveal
Was,
the top
you
card,
either-
play it for free or something?
No. That was you lose all resources or you. Hold on, let me look it up.
I thought it wasn't Abandon All Hope, the, like, reroll one?
Am I thinking of the right thing?
I forget. I don't remember any of those cards.
Abandon All Hope was force an opponent to choose to either lose all their resources or discard all their cards in hand.
Yeah, that one.
And it was almost always resources, but it felt bad because it was 2. So, like, you don't want to pay
Right.
2 for them to lose 2. I guess depending on your deck, but I don't know.
But it was like if you start up, like if you open with that, it's kind of. But you're also losing out on resources, so it's kind of like.
If your deck works for it, because I feel like that was played in like a Solo Palpatine deck, and it was like Solo Palpatine could still dunk out like 10 damage, right?
You had no removal that you could pay for. You were still doing 2 indirect if you resolved the dice
Yeah.
on any side. So
Yeah, so there's something there, but still, like, you,
niche.
I don't know, don't love it. That was one, I feel like that was probably the only deck where that card ever got played.
Yeah, actually, the
That'd
more
be
I think about this, though, like the I Am Your Father, I'm kind of like, both outcomes are very good. Like, you either do 7 for 3, or you pay 3 to draw 3. So, yeah, like you're saying, like, they're going to pick obviously the worst option, but I don't hate either option at all.
Yep.
Like, at all.
Yeah,
I like it.
Same cost as Open Fire.
Actually,
and it
I'm
could,
starting to think about it more. I'm kind of liking it more, just because it's just deal 7, and it's any enemy unit. So I'm wondering. I'm guessing it can be a leader, right?
to an enemy unit. Yeah.
Every deck. Every
Every deck's gonna have this for sure. At least one.
Oh,
my
my decks.
Well, again,
Oh,
maybe not the hero
wow.
decks. I'm not. I don't know if I'm paying 5 for this.
No. I'm only playing villain though. So.
Yeah. Oh, I'm always villain for sure.
All right, and then our last card that we have is Maximum Firepower. It's an Imperial tactic. Black 4 cost. A friendly Imperial unit deals damage equal to its power to a unit. Then another friendly Imperial unit deals damage equal to its power to the same unit. So a little bit similar to the card we showed a little bit ago with Surprise Strike, but I think this edges it out a little bit simply because you're not attacking, so you're not taking any damage back. And also you're not exhausting your units, I would assume. And that's where my assumption's coming, right? If you attack with Surprise Attack, that Stormtrooper's also then being exhausted and is done for the turn. Whereas this is just dealing based off their values of attack. It does cost 2 more, where Surprise Strike was 2. But the drawback for this is that they both have to be Imperial, and they both need to be alive on the board. So that's a drawback of this card. But I think of all the cards we've seen, I think Maximum Firepower could probably be the top end of that, right? If you have a 7 cost and a 6 cost with both 7-8 attacks or whatever like that, and you get maximum firepower off on this, the value of that's going to be crazy. Whereas, you know, if you do it with 2 Stormtroopers, that feels a little bit worse, but it still would be paying 4 to do 6.
Gotta be a
Not
big
the
unit.
worst. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like there's also a lot of the stipulations. I'm guessing this is another one where it's like the then means you have to have the second one, right? And it has to be able to attack the same thing. So say your first Imperial kills the unit, you don't actually are not able to do that second action or the second part of that, which is then another friendly one. So can you even use it after you use it, kind of thing? Like if you want to use it for a kill, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you could still pay 4 to have
So
one
so
person.
can you do the first one, but do you have to be able to do the second one in order to complete it?
Call up the Gandor.
That's what that was my first thing. Cause I just remember from Destiny there then was you had to do the first one and then you have to be able to do the second one. If you couldn't do the second one, you couldn't go forward.
The then's a lot of that where you had to do it if it was available to you. So this you have to do.
Okay.
If you have a second Imperial unit, you're going to have to damage that. So I don't know. There's a scenario that you wouldn't want to, right?
Yeah.
There could
Oh,
be some
no,
niche
yeah.
thing where there's like, oh, I attack this, I want to get him to low health for whatever reason, but I don't want to kill him right now because he has an on-death effect or something like that. So there could be
Yeah.
situations like that, but no, because there is then you would have to go through with that. But I would, if I had to guess right now, I would think you could pay 4 to just have one
Yeah.
unit attack.
But also,
feel
do you
bad.
have to have 2? Do you have to have 2? You have to have 2 friendly ones. Say you only had 1.
Yeah.
You couldn't play this, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like if you had one unit
yeah.
out, I think you'd be able to pay 4. If you had one stormtrooper
also-
out, you pay 4, deal 3, and that's your.
Oh, so
But
you
also
could do
you'd
that.
be
Okay.
losing out on utility there. Like, why would you only do it if you had?
Because you don't get to exhaust your character, so you can pay for. Say it's towards the end, you pay 4 to do damage, and then they do their action. Then your next action is to actually attack with that character and kill the blow or something like that. So you still get 2 abilities.
That just feels like not optimal though.
But it don't need to be optimal if you're going for the kill.
Correct. Yeah, I mean most of the stuff too. If you're getting the kill.
I'm just saying, like, I just wanted to clarify, make sure like you didn't have to do that second thing. Where if you didn't have a second Imperial unit, you couldn't do it. One of those situations. That's all.
Yeah, I think you'd be able to.
Cool. That's fine.
So yeah, I mean, I think of the ones, maximum firepower seems the top heaviest, but maybe the most inconsistent of it, and most conditions and the highest potential cost. Right? If you're paying 4. Yes, if you're getting the kill, then using that for a stormtrooper sounds great to deal 3. But if you're paying 4 to deal 3, that feels bad because you could have included open fire and you could have dealt 4 for 3. You know, so
Right.
there's some
Right.
stuff there. But so far,
our card's the best. Yeah, our card's the best.
no
No bias. Our card's the best.
bias. Yeah, I mean, if you're twisting my arm, making me pick the best one or one that I'm probably most excited to have synergy around, it probably is maximum firepower. But I think that's just because the top end excites that. And I don't think it's necessarily a win more. I think it's just like just a really good potential to snipe some units. You could take 2 medium units and kill their big one. You could take, I don't know, 2 big ones and make sure you kill their leader or whatever. So
Yeah,
think
I feel like
my favorite.
I feel like open fire is gonna be in every red deck. In my opinion, I just feel like it's gonna be in there.
yeah, and I mean it's hard to say.
For sure.
There's still plenty of cards to be revealed, but currently pay 3, deal 4 seems just solid to include. There's no reason not to. I mean, especially we can't even make what's the deck 60, 40, 50?
Yeah, what do we
That was
have,
at least 50.
4%
That
of
was
the
at least
cards
50,
right now?
right? 50 minimum, I thought it was.
Something like that. And it was like
It's like 50
Gandorf is
minimum.
currently making. If you're in the main Discord, he's in the I think preview section or whatever. He's making decks right now. So it's like both decks are at like 30. So obviously there's plenty of room to keep adding more. And I think this just goes right in and wouldn't be the first one that you would take out either.
Nope.
All right, we even went longer than I thought we were going to go. But we're at 22 minutes. If you're still here, very much appreciate you sticking around and listening to our thoughts because I know there's many who just want to grab the image, run, and I totally get that too. I'm very similar for myself. Sometimes, I'll get to go back and do that. But shout out to FFG for sending us this and promoting this and the fact that they've actively sought out content creators and tried to promote them, I think is really good. And I'm assuming that most of these are leading up to Gen Con, and you will see these in the starter decks if I had to guess. So I think it'd be really cool, and I'm hoping, work is crazy for me the next 2 weeks, but then that means Gen Con's around the corner, and the full starter should be spoiled. So hopefully we can start getting some gameplay videos to you guys as well. But also, they have 2 streams coming up. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, July 12th is the casual tier of the OP system overview. So if you're a casual player, or even if you're competitive and looking to stay engaged with the game in between the big events, this is going to be something you want to check out because this is also setting like the base foundation of what the OP system is going to look like, especially for casuals. So you want to check that out. And the 26th is going to be the demo deck preview. So I don't know if that's going to be the full decks, and we'll have them fully at that time, which would be awesome. And I would love that. Earlier the better, so we can start playing games. But you could check out what they're going to talk about with the demo decks at that time. That's July 26th. And that's all on YouTube. Follow FFG on there if you're interested in any of those things. But any parting thoughts, gentlemen?
No? Open fire.
Very
Open
cool
fire,
stuff.
baby.
Thanks, FFG. Appreciate it.
And Scott's not coming back till he gets a better mic. Okay?
Yep. He's in timeout.
He's in timeout under punishment at his... Is it either Warhammer or D&D or something tonight? I forget. I don't know. Forget what he said.
Something about Dragon Ball Z, probably.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. Well, all right, gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out, talking these cards with us. Thanks for everybody for watching online, for listening, whatever it might be. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, all those things. And we will catch you next time.